Most dog owners would do anything to keep their furry friends safe. They buy the best food they can afford, take them on walks, and shower them with love. But what if some of the most innocent habits, things done out of love, are quietly harming dogs behind the scenes? And this video isn't about fear, it's about awareness. Because once someone understands how a dog's body and brain truly work, they can make small changes that add years to their pet's life. And sometimes, those changes start with the things people never even thought to question. 1. Overfeeding. Love. It starts with a glance, a wagging tail, those pleading eyes, and before anyone realizes it, a piece of chicken lands on the floor or a treat is tossed without a second thought. But here's the truth. Dogs don't understand portion control. Their brains are wired to seek food as a survival instinct, not as a balanced diet. In fact, studies in dog psychology show that many dogs will eat until they're physically uncomfortable, especially if the food is high in fat or sugar. And while a few extra pounds might seem harmless, obesity in dogs is directly linked to shorter lifespans. It increases the risk of heart disease, joint problems, diabetes, and even cancer. What's worse is that many treats marketed as healthy are loaded with fillers and preservatives. Owners think they're rewarding good behavior, but they're actually feeding inflammation. The fix isn't to stop giving treats. It's to rethink what a treat means. A frozen carrot, a slice of apple, or even a few minutes of play can be just as rewarding. Dogs don't measure love in calories. They measure it in attention. 2. Skipping mental exercise. Most people know dogs need physical exercise, but what's often forgotten is that dogs are also deeply emotional and intelligent creatures. When their minds aren't challenged, they don't just get bored, they get stressed. In dog psychology, chronic boredom is linked to destructive behavior, anxiety, and even depression. And over time, that stress wears down the immune system, making dogs more vulnerable to illness. Imagine living in the same house, seeing the same walls, hearing the same sounds, and never being asked to solve a problem or learn something new. That's what many dogs experience daily. Mental stimulation doesn't have to be complicated. Hide-and-seek games, puzzle feeders, scent trails, or even teaching new tricks can light up a dog's brain like fireworks. It's not just fun, it's life-extending. Because when a dog feels engaged, they feel alive. And that feeling ripples through their entire body. 3. Ignoring dental health dog breath is often joked about, but behind that smell could be something far more serious. Most dogs show signs of dental disease by age 3, and while it starts in the mouth, it doesn't stay there. Bacteria from infected gums can enter the bloodstream and damage the heart, kidneys, and liver. It's a slow, silent process, and one that's entirely preventable. The problem is, many owners assume that chewing toys or bones is enough. But just like humans, dogs need regular brushing and dental checkups. Their mouths are full of tiny crevices where plaque builds up, and once it hardens into tartar, it becomes a breeding ground for infection. Even small changes like using dog-safe toothpaste, offering dental chews, or scheduling vet cleanings can make a massive difference, because a clean mouth isn't just about fresh breath, it's about protecting every organ in the body. 4. Using harsh discipline. Some people still believe that dogs need to be dominated to behave. They use shock collars, yell, or punish mistakes harshly. But modern dog psychology paints a very different picture. Dogs are emotionally sensitive. They read human tone, posture, and facial expressions with incredible accuracy. And when they're trained through fear, they don't learn trust. They learn avoidance. That kind of stress doesn't just affect behavior, it affects biology. Chronic stress in dogs raises cortisol levels, weakens the immune system, and can even shrink parts of the brain responsible for learning and memory. It's the emotional equivalent of living in a constant state of anxiety. Positive reinforcement isn't just kinder, it's smarter. Dogs trained with rewards and encouragement learn faster, retain information longer, and build stronger bonds with their humans, and that bond itself is life extending, because dogs who feel safe live longer. 5. Missing subtle signs. Dogs are masters of hiding pain. It's a survival instinct. They don't want to appear weak. So when something's wrong, they often show it in quiet, subtle ways. A dog that suddenly sleeps more, avoids stares, licks one paw repeatedly, or seems off might be in pain. But because these signs are easy to miss, many health issues go untreated until it's too late. One of the most overlooked killers in dogs is untreated arthritis. It doesn't just cause discomfort, it leads to muscle loss, reduced mobility, and eventually organ stress. And because dogs won't cry or complain, owners assume they're just getting older. But aging isn't a disease, and slowing down isn't always natural. Regular vet checkups, body scans, and simply observing changes in behavior can catch problems early, before they become life-threatening. Because the earlier something is found, the easier it is to fix. 6. Overlooking breed-specific needs. Every dog breed has its own quirks, strengths, and vulnerabilities. But many owners treat all dogs the same. Same food, same exercise, same environment. And that mismatch can quietly shorten a dog's life. For example, brachycephalic breeds like bulldogs and pugs struggle with heat and need special care in summer. Large breeds like Great Danes are prone to bloat and need elevated feeding bowls. Herding breeds like Border Collies crave mental stimulation and can develop anxiety if left idle. Even mixed breeds carry genetic traits that affect how they respond to food, exercise, and stress. Ignoring those traits isn't just inefficient, it's dangerous. Understanding a dog's breed isn't about labels, it's about biology. It's about giving them the life their body was designed for. And when that happens, everything from digestion to mood to longevity improves. 7. Not letting dogs be dogs. Dogs are family. That's not up for debate. But sometimes, in the effort to treat them like loved ones, people forget that dogs aren't humans. They have different instincts, needs, and ways of processing the world. Dressing dogs in tight clothes, restricting their sniffing on walks, or constantly correcting natural behaviors like barking or digging can cause emotional frustration. And over time, that frustration becomes stress. Sniffing, for example, isn't just a hobby, it's how dogs read the world. Their noses are wired to process scent, like humans process sight. Denying that instinct is like blindfolding someone and asking them to enjoy the scenery. Dogs also need social interaction with other dogs, time outdoors, and freedom to explore. When they're constantly confined, overstimulated, or treated like fragile ornaments, their mental health suffers. Letting dogs be dogs doesn't mean neglect. It means respect. It means understanding that their joy comes from movement, scent, play, and connection. And when they get that, their bodies thrive. 8. Inconsistent routines. Dogs thrive on routine. It's not just about convenience, it's about survival instincts. In the wild, predictability meant safety. Knowing when to hunt, when to rest, and when to stay alert helped animals avoid danger. That instinct still lives in domestic dogs today. When a dog's daily schedule constantly shifts, mealtimes vary, walks are skipped, sleep is interrupted, it creates low-level anxiety. Their internal clock becomes confused and they start to feel unsafe in their own environment. This kind of stress doesn't always show up as barking or whining. Sometimes it's subtle, pacing, licking, sudden clinginess, or even digestive issues. Over time, that stress wears down the immune system and shortens lifespan. Creating a consistent rhythm, same feeding times, regular walks, predictable sleep, helps dogs feel secure. And that sense of security isn't just emotional, it's biological. It helps regulate hormones, digestion, and even brain chemistry. Because for dogs, knowing what comes next is a form of peace. 9. Neglecting the nose. A dog's nose is its superpower. While humans rely on sight, dogs rely on smell to understand the world. Their noses are so sensitive, they can detect diseases, emotions, and even time itself by tracking how scents change. But in many households, scent is ignored. Dogs are rushed through walks, pulled away from interesting smells, or kept indoors for long stretches, and when their primary sense is underused, their brain starts to dull. In dog psychology, scent work is considered one of the most powerful forms of mental stimulation. It activates memory, problem solving, and emotional regulation. Dogs that regularly engage in scent based activities show lower stress levels and better overall health. Simple changes like letting dogs sniff freely on walks, hiding treats around the house, or using scent games can reignite their natural instincts. It's not just enrichment, it's brain health. Because when a dog's nose is engaged, their whole body benefits. 10. Overexposure to noise. Modern homes are loud. TVs, phones, alarms, traffic, construction. It's a constant stream of sound. And while humans learn to tune it out, dogs don't have that luxury. Their hearing is far more sensitive and they process sound differently. Sudden noises, high pitched frequencies, and constant background hums can trigger stress responses, even if the dog doesn't visibly react. This kind of noise pollution has been linked to increased cortisol levels, sleep disruption, and behavioral changes. Dogs may become jumpy, withdrawn, or even aggressive, not because they're misbehaving, but because they're overwhelmed. Creating quiet zones, using white noise machines, or simply turning down the volume can make a huge difference. Dogs need silence to rest, reset, and feel safe. Because peace isn't just a luxury, it's a health requirement. If this helped you see your dog's world more clearly, don't stop here. Hit subscribe for more eye-opening insights that protect the ones who love us most, without ever saying a word. Share this with someone who needs it. One small change could mean one more tail wag tomorrow.